14 unguided rockets, 1 seagull, 2 decks penetrated, 1 engine room exploded, 0 enemy aircraft killed. Welcome to the bunker. I'm Professor Von Blunder, and today we're talking about the Pig Truff, a weapon so brilliantly designed that it became the first rocket system to successfully attack its own crew. In World War II, the British had a problem. German dive bombers were screaming out of the sky, dropping bombs on Royal Navy ships and pulling up just overhead. The solution? Norway, a brilliant engineer, designed a rocket launcher that would fire 14 2-pound explosive shells straight up in a vertical barrage. Think of it like a vertical shotgun, except each shell weighs 2 pounds, explodes on contact, and has a mind of its own. They called it the Pig Truff. It looked like an umbrella stand packed with high explosives. What could possibly go wrong? Let me paint you a picture. German Stuka dive bombers are plummeting toward your ship at 300 miles per hour. They drop their payload, pull up, and roar directly over your deck. You have maybe 2 seconds to shoot them down. Norway's solution was pure genius. Cram 14 rockets into a swinging mount that stays vertical even when the ship rolls. Each rocket carries a 2-pound explosive shell. When the dive bomber pulls up overhead, you fire the whole barrage straight up like a monster shotgun. The inaccuracy of the rockets? That was actually a feature, not a bug. The wider the spread, the better the chance of hitting something. Brilliant, right? They installed the first prototype on HMS Conqueror, a 900-ton yacht that used to belong to Gordon Selfridge, the department store magnate. In peacetime, it hosted champagne parties. In wartime, it became a floating experimental weapons platform. The crew took it in stride. They'd seen weirder things, but the Pig Truff demanded respect. Here's where the genius engineering hits a small snag. The rockets were armed by little vanes on the fuse. As the rocket flew, the vanes would spin exactly 4.5 turns, and then, click, the shell was live. Now, if you were designing a rocket weapon, you'd probably want a safety mechanism, right? Something to stop those vanes from spinning prematurely. Well, Norway's team forgot that part. In military engineering terms, that means the rockets were already half-armed when you picked them up, and if someone dropped the crate in transit, you were holding a live bomb. The crew quickly realized they were loading a weapon that was just as likely to explode in their hands as it was to fire. Working under Norway was an engineer named Goodfellow, phlegmatic, unflappable, not superstitious. But even Goodfellow looked at the calendar for the first sea trials and saw Friday the 13th and thought, well, this is going to be a disaster. Friday, September 13th, 1940. HMS Conqueror, somewhere off the French coast. Goodfellow and the crew load the Pig Truff for the first live-fire test. The mood is tense. The rockets are twitchy. The fuses are one good bump away from arming themselves. They fire the first salvo. 14 rockets scream vertically into the sky. And what did they hit? Take a guess. A seagull. 1 seagull. Out of the entire sky, the Pig Truff's first confirmed kill was a bird. Goodfellow's misgivings intensified. Then things got worse. One of the rounds had been badly handled in transit. Goodfellow picked it up and saw the vanes on the fuse. They'd already done 4 full turns. 1 half turn to go. He was holding a live bomb in his arms. Suddenly, a puff of smoke. In tactical terms, that means the fuse was about to turn your torso into a fine mist. Goodfellow did the only thing he could. He hurled the round into the scuppers and hit the deck. The rocket exploded. Shrapnel everywhere. And standing directly in the blast radius, Private Timmy, one of the crew members, who took a chunk of metal straight to the posterior. Not life-threatening, just painful and humiliating. But the Pig Truff wasn't done. The next salvo fired beautifully. 14 rockets shot into the air. And then, instead of flying away like normal rockets, they decided to come back. A cascade of Pig Truff rockets rained down on HMS Conqueror like a metal hailstorm. Several rounds punched through the deck. Then through the deck below that. Then they exploded in the engine room. In engineering terms, that means the weapon actively hunted its own crew. First salvo, 1 seagull down. Second salvo, 1 crew member down. Third salvo, 2 decks penetrated, engine room obliterated. Goodfellow spent the rest of the day dumping live rockets into the ocean. The Admiralty recalled the entire batch, redesigned the fuse with an actual safety pin, and eventually, the pig trough became the first rocket weapon installed on merchant ships. Time for the stupidity meter. Let's rate the pig trough on 3 critical metrics. Money wasted? High. They converted a millionaire's yacht into a floating bomb, then had to recall and redesign the entire weapon system. Enemies killed? 0 aircraft, 1 seagull. Collateral damage to Timmy? Engine room destroyed, 2 decks penetrated, and 1 crew member injured in the most undignified place possible. Overall, stupidity score 9 out of 10. Points deducted only because they eventually fixed it and it actually worked. But let's be honest, the first version shot down a bird, exploded on its own deck, and then bombed itself. That's not a weapon, that's a cry for help. So here's my question for you. If you had a luxury yacht and 14 rockets in 1940, what stupid weapon would you invent? Let me know in the comments. And someone get Timmy an ice pack. His dignity took more damage than the engine room.